Cleopatra is still to this day one of the most iconic beauty and feminine figures, but her beauty was more than just looks. And did you know that historians mostly agreed that her beauty was not conventional? She was not really beautiful. They even say that she had a very average beauty. It was mostly her voice, her intelligence, her presence, and her energy that was magnetic enough to bend empires to her will. And 2000 years later, now her name still evokes seduction, beauty, power, allure, femininity. So, what actually made her so attractive and so unforgettable if her features were average? How, without fitting the mold of the conventional beauty over time, she became one of the most iconic feminine figure, and especially how you can use that energy to embody it in your life today. Welcome to the Beauty Beyond, a new series on my channel where we'll dive into the stories of iconic women who became magnetic and remembered not because they were perfect, not because they were fitting the beauty mold, but because they were true to their selves. If you ever felt like your beauty doesn't fit the mold, or if you ever felt like you had to be prettier to be respected or loved or remembered or attractive, then what I'm about to share with you might completely change the story that you tell yourself. So let's start with a little background about Cleopatra. Cleopatra was actually Cleopatra 7. Cleopatra 7 Thea Philopator. So let that think into your mind that she was the 7 or her lineage. There were 6 Cleopatra before her. Cleopatra 1, Cleopatra 2, Cleopatra 3, and so on. But you remember only one. The last Cleopatra, Cleopatra 7, Thea Philopator. After Alexander the Great died, we are talking 300 years before Christ, okay, very, very ancient times. When he died, his lands were divided into his generals. And one of his generals was Ptolemy, and Ptolemy inherited from Egypt and made there his dynasty. But they were not Egyptian, they were Greek Macedonians. Still, without even speaking a word of Egyptians, they ruled over Egypt for 300 years. And Cleopatra 7, the last Cleopatra, the Cleopatra that you know, was the only one to actually learn the language of her people. She learned not only Egyptians, but she was known to speak 9 languages. Can you imagine? Even nowadays, we rarely meet someone who speaks 9 languages. Of course, she was a royal child, so she had the time and the means to learn. You know, she had libraries, she had access to knowledge and tutors. So it's not really the fact that she learned that is amazing in itself, but the fact that she wanted to learn when she had no reason to. No one before her learned a word of Egyptian and they still ruled, you know. But she had a vision. She wanted to be close to her people. She had a vision for her own life, and she not only spoke a lot of languages, she learned mathematics, history, politics, everything. At only 18 years old, she was able to rule alongside her little brother, who he was 10 years old in that moment. But you know, in that moment the women were not able to rule. The throne was passed down from son to son, and only the men were ruling. And maybe she was taking too much space, maybe she was taking too much decisions, so they exiled her. The palace advisors of her brother said, she needs to go, she will try to take your spot or something. And imagine you grow up as a royal child, you have everything that you want. You have all the money, all the means, you never think about all of that, and suddenly you are out on the street. She could have let herself die, but no, she built her own army and she used her brain, her strategy. I always tell my clients, so many times you try to manifest money or you try to manifest this and that. The only thing that you need to manifest first, and the most powerful things and the things that you always have access to, is an idea, is a strategy, is a plan. And so she used her brain, her ideas, her strategy. She built an army. She got the help from Julius Caesar, who, by the way, fell madly in love with her. Of course, not because of her perfect features, but because you don't meet someone like that twice in your life. And she reclaimed her throne. She came back. And she later ruled with another brother, and then she ruled with her son. I'm not gonna tell you the full story. It's incredible if you want to dive into it, and ChatGPT is your friend. I really used him for that video. But it's incredible. She never ruled officially because she was a woman, but she was for 20 years, like 2 decades, behind the scene, taking all the decision and being the ruler. She kept Egypt autonomous, and in the very last moment when she was defeated, she preferred suiciding herself. It is said that she used some poison because she was having the knowledge also of poisons, the plants. She was using the scents and the senses, and she preferred poisoning herself, choosing her own end as an act of final sovereignty. So this is really a quick and limited expose, but I want to know who is really that persona of Cleopatra 7. And it's important to realize she was remembered and she became an icon. Not because she was especially beautiful or not because she was fitting the mold, not because she looked a certain way, but because she became a ruler in a man dominated world, even more than today. She learned the language of her people. She used intellect, charisma, perfumes, presence to navigate impossible odds. She didn't shrink herself to be accepted. She made kings bend to her will. With her energy and her sense of purpose, this is the signature of a woman who really reconnected with herself. And this is what made her truly magnetic. Her confidence in her mind. She was meeting Roman leaders as equal. She was a woman. People were not treating her as equal, but she came into the rooms as equal. She fiercely took her spot, but at the same time, she didn't surrender to this full masculine energy. She was having a soft voice, apparently, very musical. People were talking and remembering her voice. She didn't tie herself to the idea of femininity like we do today. Today you go on TikTok and people say a woman should wear lipstick and you are out in Sephora buying a lipstick because you think if I want to be a woman, if I want to be in my feminine energy, this is what I have to do. She didn't tie herself to any idea of femininity because if she did, she would be at home crying in her room, not ruling anything. Instead, she played with it like an identity that she can play with, but she stayed true to the complexity of who she was, truly. And who you are, I always tell you, is everything. Feminine, masculine, shy, ambitious. She was playing with her appearance, with the perfume, with the makeup, but she never let them make her believe that she was just a woman, just a feminine, just at this spot where people wanted to put her as a woman. And by the way, she was playing with her appearance both literally and figuratively because she liked playing with her appearance like physically, but she also liked playing with her appearance like how she was appearing to the rooms, how she was entering, how she was making an entrance each time. She was trying to be always where you don't expect her. She was playing with that. She was playing with her life. She was playing with her identities and different facets. She was never special or perfect or the most beautiful one, but she never let that make her believe that she had to be. Or maybe she did, we will never know. You know, it's part of history. Maybe she had doubts sometimes at night. So, what does it tell us today? What can we understand and grab and realize from her story? I will share what I realized, and if you want, you can share in the comments if you had other realization when you were listening to the story. But I realized that we always want to glow up, and myself first. I like a good glow up. You know, I like to see myself in the mirror and see that I lost 5 kilos or whatever, that I look good today, that my skin is good or whatever. But I realize it's not really the glow up that makes us more confident. It's the fact that we truly believe that we will be more confident when we glow up, and then we are. It's not the glow up that improves our lives, it's the belief that now we actually deserve a little more. Okay, now I lost 10 kilos, I deserve a little more from life. Okay, now I look good, my skin is good today. Okay, now I improved my appearance, I took care of myself, I took time, I deserve a little more from life. And it's that belief that you deserve a little more that actually make the glow up glow, you know? But Cleopatra told me that you can have the effect without actually chasing perfection by just believing that you deserve a little more today from life. She also reminded me it's really all starts with your energy. I know we say it all the time, but we don't always believe it. Like we think that, okay, this woman over there is gorgeous and it's not energy. It's her blue eyes and her perfect skin, you know? But no, it's really start with your energy. And you know what? Not everyone wants to conquer empires or even build a dynasty. And it's not about imitating. It's about just being real to your true self, your true purpose. Hearing the little voice in your head or in your heart and following it. Learning to trust it even when it sounds crazy. Actually, especially when it sounds crazy, because this is when it will really shine. She also told me that, I mean, her story, because it's not her directly, but her story is teaching me that you can play with your appearance and it will have more effect than the appearance itself. Like being able to play with your appearance without the limitation of, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I don't deserve enough, you know? Just taking what you have and playing with it will be way more powerful than just being a pretty face and not knowing what to do about it, not knowing what to do with it. And she taught me that beauty can be a mean to an end, and I should also focus more on what I want to achieve, who I want to be, what I want my life to be in service of, and then use the identity of woman, being beautiful, being this or that, playing with it to achieve my goals and to also just enjoy playing with it instead of seeing it as something that I'm waiting to receive, I'm waiting to reveal, I'm waiting to have, I'm waiting to glow up for them being able to be respected, for them being able to create things into this world, for them being able to dream a little bit bigger. And above everything else, what she taught me and what I saw in so many other women, so I hope to introduce to you other examples in the near future. She taught me and she really confirmed to me that true power is in the balance, is in the harmony more than balance, because nothing is ever really balanced like 50-50, but it's really in the harmony of being able to tap into your feminine and tap into your masculine, and not even calling them feminine or masculine. I'm just using words because that's the only thing that I have to express myself to you, but even the word is limited. I mean, to be able to just be whoever you want to be with all your facets. And she was an example of a woman who was holding the softness and the fierceness at the same time, and I think it's so inspiring. And I really feel that's what gave her so much power and so much presence, and that's why we remember her, and that's why we remember her as an icon. Not just remember her, but remember her as an icon of beauty, the beauty as truth, the beauty as harmony, the beauty as this inspiring force of nature. And for me, force of God, force, divinity force. And I'm sure she had something in her that made her connected to something bigger. Even without knowing her, I can feel that about her. And she was doing all of that and being all of that without ever having to be perfect, without ever having to conform to anything. And so I want you today to leave this video with 3 actionable steps that you can implement into your daily life to embody the energy of Cleopatra. So the first thing that you can do is to learn something new that will make you gain confidence and make you more powerful and make you take your spot and take up space. So it can be a new language, maybe it can be a new skill. Just think about it, give you some time to think about it and to reflect on it, which will be the thing that you could learn that will give you more power, more presence, more energy, that will align you a little bit more. And then use a little bit of every day. I know we all don't have so much time and we all have a long list of things to do. But if you can add 10 minutes every day, maybe after your lunch, maybe at the lunch break, maybe at night before sleeping, and read for 10 minutes about this subject, or ask ChatGPT to create for you a plan of 10 minutes every day to learn that new topic, whatever it is, it will really empower you and it will make you gain confidence and it will make you feel like you can glow up, you can care about beauty, you can become more beautiful, you can look at your face in the mirror, whatever message you are faced. But on top of that, you are also a real full person, a real full woman with knowledge, with skills, with things to say, with energy, and it's creating a life inside of you. The second thing that you're gonna do, or that you can do, it's not an obligation, okay? Just take what you want from that. But the second thing that you can do to embody that energy is to journal every day about your purpose. And this is something that I also have to do because I I am a visionary person. I always have visions of ideas and my life and things like that, but I don't really think about my purpose. And I feel like it really gives you a different energy when you are driven. I consider myself like not such an ambitious person, even though I don't like to put myself in spots. But I'm not the kind of person who will, for now, and it can change, and I always open to change my identities. But for now, I'm not the kind of person who will say like, oh, I want to do this amount of money every year, I want to become so rich, filthy rich, and I want to um I don't know, to create an empire and have 100 person working for me. I'm not tapping into that identity these days. I'm more like, I like harmony, and I like softness. um, but I feel like it could be good for me to maybe journal about my purpose and maybe take small actions towards figuring out and embodying it into my daily life and into my identities. And I feel like it gives you such a different energy. And I got really inspired by that through Cleopatra, that she was having a purpose so clear in her mind. Apparently she was ready to kill herself at the end of her life, and she accomplished what she came here to accomplish. I think inside of me I always judge a little bit the people who were suiciding themselves. I felt it was such horrible things to do to yourself, to your life. I felt it was ungrateful for the life that God or the universe gave to you, and it's such a chance for me to be here and to experience it, even in the bad times, even when I'm crying, even when I'm sad. I have all of that. Even when I'm angry, I'm feeling like it's still such a chance for me to be alive and to be here and to experience all of those emotions. And I almost feel like I will miss that when I will be gone, and when my experience on this earth will end. But the thing is that I should not judge it, because maybe some people can understand that, okay, I did what I had to do and it's time for me to go to the next experience, go to the next level, go to the next dimension or whatever. And yeah, I when I read her story and I learned about it, and I learned that she in the end preferred killing herself than actually being defeated and paraded into Rome as a trophy, I felt like it was actually powerful. And I felt like you can only do that when you have a clear purpose in your mind, and then you know that this is the end, my purpose. I did all that I could and I reached what I could, and now it's the end. I cannot explain it better. Maybe you will understand me, maybe not, but I feel like even if you are like me and you are not so much into your ambitious identity or boss babe woman identity right now, I feel like it would be a good exercise to journal or just even think about our purpose, to have a clear mind of where we are heading and what we want to use this life in the service of. And it will definitely give you a glow to reflect on that. Okay, this was a this was very long. I didn't script it. I'm just thinking out loud, to be honest. So anyway, tell me if you work on that, or tell me if you already think that you have your purpose in mind. I'm I'm always happy to have some inspiring answers because I'm still working on mine. And the third things that you can do to embody the energy of Cleopatra and, you know, tap into that energy is to use a scent, because she was using scents and perfumes and plants. And you can use a perfume, you can also use some oils, and maybe having a ritual of massaging your body or massaging your feet or massaging your belly at night with the oil that smells very good. And at the same time, you can use this moment to reprogram something in your brain, because smell is actually opening your senses and creating a moment of experience for you to actually rewire your brain in a very soft and very easy way, compared to deep personal development exercises that you can do. And you can just massage yourself, feel the good smell of the fragrance, and use that moment to reprogram that I don't have to be perfect to be loved, or whatever it is for you. I don't have to be perfect to be chosen. I don't have to be perfect to be respected. I don't have to be perfect to have a good life. I don't have to be perfect to be seen. I don't have to be perfect to be remembered. And really tap into the Cleopatra energy in that moment, because I really feel like we can still, even when we leave this earth, if we had such an impactful life, we are still leaving an energetical mark on this earth that can be experimented for other people that will come after you. And so I really feel like you can tap into the energy of those iconic women or people that came to this earth, came to that experience and left an energetic mark into it. And you can really tap into that energy of Cleopatra and use her as embodiment, and really feel like, just as Cleopatra, just like she showed us, just like she opened that energetic line for us, women after her, I don't have to be perfect to be loved. I really don't have to be perfect to be seen. I really don't have to be perfect to be remembered. The only thing that I have to do is to allow myself to be, allow myself to be loved, allow myself to be seen, allow myself to be remembered, whatever it is that I want to unlock or reveal or embody. So I hope you take a pleasure into doing these little things and trying this in your daily life for maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and see how it's changed your presence and glow, appearance. And I'm sure it will reflect on your face, on your eyes, on your energy. So just let me know in the comments. I'm really excited to know. Let me know also if you feel like you want to learn about a specific woman for the new episodes of the series. And if you need to remember one thing, I think it's that beauty cannot be measured by the perfection of your features. Social media is trying to push that onto you because it makes you usable. We can sell to you, we can convince you, we can use you when you believe that, but it's not true. And you have the proof from history that it is not true. Beauty is beyond perfection, and you can embody it right now. Whatever your features, whatever your circumstances. Babe, let me know who we should explore next time. You got this. See you in the next one.